How did you design that logo?
So my son did it. He found the picture of the lathe online somewhere.
Oh, okay.
And then, of course, he just typed in the words himself. And then he had to save it in some form, whatever it's not a PDF. It's something that the instructions told him it had to be in.
He's got a TV on.
Greatest state in the union right there. Our boys made that.
Yeah.
Probably saved it in a JPEG. Important.
I'm bringing in a lot of JPEG.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, we had a lot of fun with it.
Good.
When I first saw his logo, I thought that said wood turning with dog.
Oh.
Funny too.
Yeah.
Any-
When we get into the gallery stuff, I got a few things I'll show y'all tonight. Not that I made on the laser, but finally got that my wife's yarn bowl done out of that bowling ball.
Oh, there you go. She's happy on that, huh?
What's that?
She's happy about that, right?
She is. Yeah, there it is right there. And there's the snowman I made. That was the week of Christmas. I wasn't on with you guys last Wednesday because I was too busy getting stuff done. But yeah, I punched through the bottom like I told you guys when I was making it, so I just filled it in with resin. But
Is it very heavy?
not heavy at all now that it's hollowed out.
Yeah, looks good, Doug.
Thanks. Yeah, it just feels like a piece of plastic now. To be honest, it looks like something you could just buy at Walmart or IKEA or something. I don't know. But she likes it, so that's what matters.
Hey, who's got the radio on in the background? Why don't you mute it?
That's not my radio. I don't know whose that is.
Hey, Eddie, how about we just mute everybody and you come back on?
There we go.
I
That's
think
not
that,
better.
I think
That's
that was
much
coming.
better.
I think that was coming from Dane.
No, absolutely not. I don't listen to stuff like that in the shop.
So here's my latest upgrade that I did. I pulled a shelf that really wasn't being used that much out of my regular garage, and then pulled some wood out of my shed so I don't have to go out to the shed all the time. And I separated it. So that's all black walnut on the top. And that's junipine over there.
Junipine.
Yeah, it's not real fun to turn, but it was free. What is that one? That one is mulberry. And that's an assortment over there. The big one that says Estrada on it, that's a piece of eucalyptus. Down there's a bunch of ponderosa pine. Oh, there's my favorite wood to turn, elm. And what down on the bottom, I think, is just more ponderosa pino, and then a couple of chunks of oak right there. But yeah, I don't know. I set that up I think on the day after Christmas, I did that.
Nice.
The shop is looking like a shop. It's starting to fill up.
There was my Christmas gift. I told you guys I knew I was going to be getting because they left it in its original box when they delivered it. There's my first CBN wheel.
How you like it?
I'm liking it. It fixed up my tools pretty quick. All the ones that I did wrong and reshaped them and whatever. So I'm thinking about getting the if any of y'all have it, for the Wolverine system, there's a jig that'll fit right there for the skews. It looks to me like all it does is it just shifts the handle to one side or the other.
Right.
Do any of you guys have that for your?
Yeah. If you want it, I can send it to you.
Yeah,
You
I
don't
give
like
you
it?
mine too, Doug. I got one.
You won't like it either, but I'll send it to you.
Mine's not worth the postage.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah, you talk about it.
So
You talk about a gimmick. You talk about a gimmick.
Yeah.
They're laughing all the way to the bank because that's my opinion, a worthless attachment.
I will not buy it then.
I go to the other end of being a dangerous.
Okay.
the technique you do and what you end up with may border on dangerous. Y'all can jump on the bandwagon and beat the drum about the pros and cons of it, but my opinion, it's a waste.
Well, I'll just say I was lucky enough to use one of my buddies one time, and I didn't order one.
Yeah, you're fortunate. You're fortunate.
But other than that, I should go ahead and get one.
Go ahead, man.
Go ahead, join the club.
I use it all the time.
Everybody else has one.
I don't
Somebody
have
just
one,
said
but
they
it
use
looks
theirs
like
all
a
the
good
time.
paperweight.
If you really understand and know how to use the skew, it will work. If you are slightly off of extremely professional, leave it alone.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah. It's easier to use the flat plate and sharpen your skew freehand, or get the skew attachment that has a
Mhm.
cup on either side of the main cup,
Yeah.
or that sits right in the middle. That's a lot easier to use and safer to sharpen the skew. I use both depending on the style of skew I'm using. So
Yeah.
just depends. But as long as you grind above center and don't get too close to center, it's totally safe.
Okay. I mean, for this time, what I did, I just went ahead and used that piece and kind of put my skew on there and got it back to the shape that I wanted. And I mostly just used the diamond card to keep it shape anyway, or sharp. But
Yeah.
I do too. Why throw steel on the floor?
yeah,
Exactly.
it's the one tool that I feel like I do a better job with honing than I do sharpening, I guess.
I do. I sharpen mine about every year, so if it really needs it.
Yeah, same here. I just hone it in between. That's why my
That's what I do.
skews last forever.
Yeah,
Stand
once
it
my
up
hollow
on its-
grind goes away, I throw it back on and refresh it. Other than that, diamond card.
Stand it up on its tail and look right at that edge. When you bring that card across at the right angle, and you got 2 passes, you're done.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I will not spend the 30 or whatever dollars I saw it on Amazon for. And I'm glad I asked.
Now, wait, hold on. Dane and I
skew
have
attachment.
agreed that since you aren't getting that, you got $30 spare, so
Right?
Here you go. Get
15
some wood
each?
blank.
that's what wood turns do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
gotta
buddy.
look out for that wallet.
I mean, the flat plate's all you need for sharpening the skew.
Yeah. All righty.
I wasn't even gonna buy the skew attachment for the Wolverine jig. It just so happened a buddy of mine had an extra one and he gave it to me. Otherwise, I would have never had one because you don't really need it. You can sharpen it with a flat plate that adjusts.
Okay. Yeah, and then I've got the wherever it went. It's sitting right here somewhere though. Oh, there it is, right in front of my face. The you're just talking about sticking that in there, right?
Yep, that's what I use to sharpen my skews. Yep.
I,
That and
I
mini
do,
flat.
I do recommend you do one thing with
Oh,
that.
Say again, Trace.
you're cutting
Uh,
out.
Grind the back side of it round. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I recommend you do one thing with it. Grind the back side of it round instead of square.
Mhm.
Knock the corners off. It gives you more area. It allows you to handle shorter tools and stuff that would normally be in your way.
Yeah.
I'm not sure
It's
I'm
easier
following you.
around. It's easier to get around that corner before you dig that sharp corner in the opposing bead.
You're talking about the platform or the skew?
The skew, I believe Trey's talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
So you're
I
talking about
sharpen mine with a
yeah.
slight radius. I mean, I have both because I teach the flat-sided one that comes out of the box, but my personal style, I have the slight radius, slight curve to the skew.
Okay. But do you still have a sharp point for your toe and heel, or you don't have a sharp point on your heel?
No, I don't have a sharp point. Well, I have a sharp point on either side. It's just slightly rounded, so it's not so sharply angled. I can show it.
Okay. Yeah.
Kay, we don't have your video for some reason.
Oh, well, sorry. Yeah, I must have forgot to.
We
It
thought
is.
thought you were working incognito.
There we are.
Hey,
Working
now
in the
you-
dark.
Or the snow's that deep in Canada today.
Yeah,
You
well,
need
we were
the
up north.
24-hour night snow.
We were up north visiting family, so I just got home. We drove home in a blizzard. But here's the one I have.
Okay.
And you can see it has a slight curve, a slight radius.
Hold
so
on,
it's
Kay.
not
There
Yeah.
you go.
straight and sharp. And that really allows you to get around those corners a little easier without catching that sharp point in the opposing bead. So that's my 1/2 inch one there. And then here's my 3/4 inch one, which is still slightly curved.
Yeah.
And it's also so if you use it flat like a negative scraper, with that slight curve, you're not going to bury this edge, that edge, and the very sharp corner in the corner that you're scraping into, giving you a
Got it.
catch, right? So it's a lot easier and safer to use if I were to use it as a negative rake scraper, because those 3 points in that tip are never going to be in full contact with all surface areas of the wood. And that will result in a...
Yeah.
Oh, let's ask Brenda about that.
But your traditional skew is sharpened like this guy, very straight, very sharp corners. So
That's what I'm used to using, that one right there.
yeah, yeah. So it's possible, it's usable. You just need to use it closer to that tip. So when you come around that bead, you don't catch that sharp corner in the opposing bead here, right?
Yeah.
As we come around that corner. But with the grind that is slight radius or slightly curved, it's sort of swept back a little. So you have a little bit more space. You can be up a little further, and it's easier to get around that curve before you catch the sharp point on the opposing bead, so to speak. But it's possible with both. It really just comes down to woodturner's preference.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem.
All that free lessons just because I asked a question. Gotta love this
There you
club.
go.
That's what we're here for, bud. That's what we're here for. I'm making notes as we go on the skew, and I love the skew. I'm the guy that brags on, I can go soup the nuts with the skew and turning a pen or a cylinder or bottle stopper. I don't need all the other gizmo tools. I can just zing right through it and get it done. I really test myself by doing that.
Because of both Dean Grimes and Doug Miller over there, it forced me to, I don't know, I kept working the snowmen with the skew this year. And I probably made more snowmen this year than I've ever made. And I definitely made more with a skew than I've ever made. And just watching their videos and going, all right, I'm going to figure this dang thing out here. So.
That's good. It's a good skill builder.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you master it, once you understand the skew, you'll change how you understand all the rest of your tools. Because then you'll find out what a slice really is. People that say, I see this and this and this. When you learn how to slice, it's all over. But you don't go back. You don't go back to plowing wood. You go back to
I got so excited. I made one of my kids come out. I'm like, look at these shavings. This is what they're supposed to look like.
They're looking at your big radio.
Yeah.
What's that?
And with slicing, you won't waste so much time sanding.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's not a big radio. That's a it connects to my phone. It's just a big speaker, really, like a big it's Bluetooth, whatever. That's when I want my neighbors to listen to Leonard Skinner with me. I just crank that up.
There you go.
There you go.
Maybe some Motley Crue, whatever I'm in the mood for. Hank Jr. Never know what's coming out of my box.
Some Cardi B.
That's probably not happening. I got off the music train around 1992 and never got back on. So if it's anything after that, I probably don't like it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Same here.
Dean, we don't have a video for you. We
Yeah,
have you, but-
my chili. I didn't think you guys wanted to see me chewing on the chili, so.
Oh, okay, that's all right. I'm drinking my broth.
See,
Yeah,
there was my unknown skew mentor. He doesn't know it, but that's what he is.
What we talk about.
It's a lot of fun, and Captain's right.
What's that, boss?
I said, the skew can be a lot of fun, and you're right. Once you kind of get the idea and the feel of it, it changes the way you use every other tool.
That's it. If you understand how, I keep using this description. If you understand how when you take your pocket knife and go down the side of a broomstick, you get a shaving. If you take your pocket knife and go straight into the broomstick, you plow it. If you use that analogy on every tool you have, you'll be a much better turner and less sanding. I mean, Vince Welch, who has his own company, is threatening to kill me for telling people that. Because once you master it, you're not going to buy any more sandpaper.
The one thing that I also noticed that helped me out was, and I don't know if this is a good way of explaining it or not, but if you're a sports guy, a wrestler, a judo guy or something, you'll be familiar with it, but heavy hands versus light hands. You know, if I'm really grabbing onto something really heavy, you're going to know right quick. Light hands, I'm just kind of moving quickly around you. And I found with the skew, the more lighter my hands were, the more I could just kind of float with it instead of like just holding on with my death grip. And all of a sudden I was just like, hey, I found my right grip in there, I guess.
Well, I think it's all part of, letting the tool do the work.
Yeah.
I know that, it's one of the first things they teach you in karate is if you're tight, if you're holding tight, you can't move.
Yeah.
So, the same thing is true with your tools. If you're holding on to it, like you said, with the death grip, you don't have a touch with it. You can't, it's very difficult to move and let the tool do the work. So, yeah.
When I was in the Air Force, a guy said, "Can you run that dozer?" It's a pretty good sized dozer. And I said, "Oh, shoot, I can run anything." I was 19 years old. And I was cocky. When I got on, I thought about something a friend of mine taught me. Back blade until you understand how the machine works. Just drop the blade and pull it back. A nice soft cut until you learn how the machine works. Same thing with a skew. Soft touch, soft touch, soft touch. It doesn't remove wood as fast as a roughing gouge. And some people believe that's the negative. If this is a race, go ahead and run. I don't believe it's a race. So I don't have to go out and run after, turn a pin in 6 minutes. That's possible, but do I have to work that hard to turn one? All right, we haven't spoke about lasers this evening or weather. I got a call from a guy up in New Brunswick today, and he said it was a little chilly. He had a -29 wind chill outside. And Kate just said he came home in the middle of a blizzard. I hate to tell you this. It's 82 degrees outside.
Yeah, it was 80 here today too.
They tell me it's going to change over the weekend to be the high in the 40s. I served in Denver and went to school in Denver, and we had 100-degree change in one day from the ambient temperature to the wind chill, 100 degrees. And we marched to school at 6 in the evening. It wasn't too bad. It was cold, but walking back at midnight, I'll never forget that walk. But yeah, you have to live. You have to live with all of it. today I played outside getting ready. The muscle is showing up tomorrow, guys. The muscle comes in. the
All right.
manufacturing
All
group is
right.
coming in.
Alrighty. That'd be good.
Yeah, and in fact, we've agreed. I think I did a game plan of how I would do things. I didn't tell Steve and his boys what I came up with. Talking to Steve and his boys last night, it's like they read my mind. They know exactly the pitfalls we're going to run into and how to get around them. And I just sent them a note and said, bring your crowbar. Apparently mine flew away in a hurricane. So much stuff flew away, and we had some people coming to clean up while we were gone. And I had a half-inch wrench socket wrench, probably a 20-inch handle on it,
Ratchet.
and
Ratchet.
a ratchet,
Mhm.
and it blew away. At least that's the story I get. But hey,
Yeah, those ratchets, they fly easy.
Yeah, they walk.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
Have you checked to see if somebody's advertising it on Marketplace?
Is that that new ratchet I got?
just like it, Ronnie? Is it silver in color?
It was all covered in sawdust.
Make a clicking sound when you move it?
I got it. What I was hoping would blow away was 10-inch grass from the table saw, but I think I'm giving that to the boys tomorrow when they're here. They're gonna get the table saw, the router, the table saw, the welder, the plasma cutter, the big airless spray rig. I'm loading them up. I told them bring a truck or a trailer. I'm loading them up.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, they'll appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, they're farm raised boys. I have to say, they're two of the finest young men I've ever met. And let me tell you, they were raised at home, schooled at home, and don't see television. And they've got manners. They're just right along. They're where you'd want your children to be.
Yeah.
We go eat someplace, a restaurant, fast food or whatever. They love barbecue. We go eat someplace. When you finish eating, they get up and clean the table without anybody saying anything, and ask, "Can I get you refill on the drink? Do you need more napkins?" Things like, those are traits they're born with and raised with, and you can't
And you
drive
don't
it
see
into
very
them.
often anymore.
You don't see it. It's so rare. You sit there. I sat there in awe when they were maybe 10 years old, and the little one says that he put a new carburetor on a tractor. What? He's 17. He's rebuilt 3 or 4 trucks and sold them. He's not the older one. The older one's as talented or more than he is. So I love it. Tomorrow morning they're coming in, great family. I think I'm ready. If not, we'll get ready while they're here. It's just the way they work. Farm people, you can't get it done, figure out how.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the old motto.
Well, I grew up on a farm, and you didn't have any choice. If it had to be done, you figured out how to get it done.
That's right.
Exactly.
And you figured out the easiest way or the best way. I'm an ammo troop from the Air Force. We got second-rate equipment all down the line. We're supposed to perform just like the funny-looking airplanes on a runway. Just go, 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 go. And we got it done no matter what. In the time I served, we never missed the mission. It taught a lot. Hey, we're gonna have a good gallery tonight, and I think some outlaw from Arizona is gonna do our demonstration. Is that right?
I heard that.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I heard the rumor on that.
Yeah, we signed this guy up before he knew it happened.
Right?
I can't imagine that.
It should be interesting.
That's
How did
another
he-
here on our show, isn't it?
What?
That's a first, isn't it?
What is?
sign somebody up for a demo without asking them first.
Oh, yeah, right. That's never happened.
Oh,
Yeah.
we've done it to Cade. Bring
Yeah.
up a subject, and Cade turn around, get a piece of wood and turn something out.
Well, the thing with Cade, you always give at least 5 seconds notice though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to go. Okay.
That helps.
Somebody that was not a member but watched the repeat of the program of the meeting said the guy did good, but he cut the top off the bowl. Yeah, I said, did you notice that without a trick in the trip in the step, he fixed and saved the project? So didn't go to the house, didn't go beat on the door. He just fixed and saved the project. I admire that. Not that he blew it up or had problems, because that can happen, it's wood, but just that he can recover and keep going. We should all learn from that. It's never the journey, it's the destination. And I told the guy, I said, you want to see somebody really good turn, he's going to do another demo in a couple of weeks. You know, don't miss him. I get so many calls about this club. Folks asking, how can I do a demonstration? Hey, we've got a demonstration master that if you even give a hint, has been able to do a demonstration, or you show something that's unique, or you have a new trick, he's going to sign you up. Why? It's your wood turning club. You deserve to be on the floor just like the rest of us. You drive the bus just like the rest of us. And we're committed to having a good time, sitting on a tailgate talking about it. Like tonight, if you joined in early, we're kidding with Brenda out of Ohio. Brenda had a piece, I don't know what happened to it, it's a piece of black walnut. She was using a tool, and the tool got, Kelly Wampus came down and busted the living wine out of her hand, her fingers. And she's sore today, but she can still hold up 5 fingers, so I think she'll be all right. 5 fingers, that's not the hand she hurt, the other hands, you know. But we tease about things. We know the weakness and the strengths, and we learn them of members. Teased about Doug. Doug is a first sergeant in the Army. He handles our Freedom Pen Project for the Army. We have a Freedom Pen Project for the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Space Force, and Coast Guard. We send them all ink pens. Why? Because we have, if you support one, you can support it. If you think, okay, I just want to send it to the troops, you can support it. And all the information's on the Correspondent Wood Turning website. That's Dave, our master webmaster, puts that together. And I don't know if you've seen it this week, but what we did last week with Matt Harbor on the camera, articulating camera arms, and the PDF of it on our website, on the front page of our website, and you get it. Matt, I've been looking at variations on a theme, and I got clear open wall space behind me, and that's where mine's going to go, right there on that wall, right about there, because my late's going to be right behind me.
Yeah, there's a lot of options, and the one I put on the wall, I wanted to make seriously robust, so my arms are like 2 inches wide. That thing is like solid, you know. So, and I can move it fairly easily. So,
yeah, you build in quality. You keep it's a dual-sided piece, and sometimes drill all the holes perfectly plumb or parallel. It'll move. You know, you won't get jammed because of crossovers.
yep.
I really enjoy building wood like that, building equipment like that. My shop was full of those gizmos and things, but that's when I was welding. I build them out of 3/4 tube and make brackets and everything else, but we're not going to do welding anymore. Not in the house. I think the boss. We're gonna have a good, I said we're gonna have a good demo and a good gallery. And I mentioned Freedom Pens, and I normally have a cheat sheet here for me to go down so I don't miss things. My wife came in about 2 weeks ago, and she stood right door of the studio and she said, "What are you gonna do in 22?" I said, "What?" She said, "That's your club's theme for next year. That's the deal. What are you going to do in 22?" And we should come up with monthly goals to go along with it. And it's a fun thing. It's to bring out your inner self. You know, if we say now we're going to do napkin rings for Easter dinner, you have enough time before Easter to turn those rings, show them to us, and still give them away at Easter dinner. And what do you, okay, they don't eat at my house. Good. You go to their house and you put your rings on their napkins and you leave them when you get done. If we do bottle stoppers, you get enough time to do bottle stoppers for an event. Yo-yos. Don't laugh at me. If you haven't turned a yo-yo, you haven't met a challenge. You don't just have to get it uniform in shape and size and cut. You have to get the weight proper. So if you try to put a heavy piece and a light piece together, ain't gonna go. When it goes down, it's gonna go in a curve. Yo-yos don't go in curves. But that tops, throw tops, spinning tops, toys for kids, these are all skill builders. If you think you get a little cheeky on our projects, they're not, like we talked a little while ago. You master the skill, you'll master other tools. Well, if you can turn a really fine looking thumb spinning top, I call it thumb spinning top, a finger top. If you can turn a really good one with good point, good angle, nice little step on it, or arm on it to spin, a little decoration on it. And remember, the decoration on the bottom you can't see. On the angle down here, you can't see that decoration. It's nice on the table, but I decorate the disc on top. And have a little fun with it. Because if you can do that, think how good you can be with the larger work. If you can fine tune that little bitty stuff, the larger work kind of falls in line with it. That's why I'm a nut about turning ink pens. Oh, look. Billy Dillard, you with us tonight?
Yes, sir.
All right. Billy, I got to show you this.
Uh-oh, you're not going to show that pen. Oh, I thought you were going to show the other pen. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's a pen I did just about 15 minutes ago. Now, this is a complete pen. I received it. It's not even one of our members sent it to me in the mail. I pulled the cap off and modified my rotation rig to slide it on there and engrave it or whatever to put that on it. That's pretty fine print.
Yeah, it looks good. It's clear.
Yeah, I played with that a little bit. I'm not as bad as Ronnie. Ronnie's completely ate up over this laser stuff. Ate up. We sit and talk for 30, 40 minutes whenever he calls me about the program he put in. He put in Lightburn, and I put Lightburn in my Mac. And I was on online, somebody, I told him my problem was, he said, your number one problem. I said, okay, you bought a Mac. Yeah. So right now I'm loading it on a Dell, no, HP. Right now it's over here loading as we talk. I'm not going to get hindered. We're going to do it. We're going to do it right this time. But I having a little fun with it. Ronnie's created some nice looking artwork for the bottom of bowls and stuff. And now we're engineering a way to raise those gantries. I call them a gantry. Raise those platforms or rigs so you can get a bowl underneath them or a platter underneath them. and things like that. So now we're trying to combine some fancy woodwork, not 2x4s and nails, and build this framework so where it'd be easy to go in stages, and then take your little jack and crank in to get that right dimension. If you not, if Doug Rowe just got one, and Doug's learning that the height of the outlet of the laser to the product is critical to a certain degree, because you want to get, you don't want to get big bold letters like this Worldwide Wood Turner says. You want to get something that looks like script. And really good is when you use the stencil print. You get the inside, the outside. I've never seen my laser move so fast until I put it through a light burner. Yeah, I'm just sitting there thinking, really, you know, just wow, you know, it's gonna burn up right now. Bob Grinstead has said he's working on a jig. You know, I like to see, I think others would like to see it. What do you come up with to do this? Yeah, I like shop tips and hints. And it pertains to what we're doing with turning, because we're talking about laser engraving, bowls, decoration. And my wife didn't understand today that if I turn a platter for a small plate and I can put it underneath the laser, get it in the right spot, I can develop artwork to go around the outside of that piece. Develop it in light burn, and I can add figures or shapes or designs or flowers with the artwork to go around the outside. And a simple platter I turn with a good flight edge on it becomes a total piece of art. And it's an opportunity, really it is. But I like to see what you make. Oh, we're talking about projects, plates, and moving. See, this room had a huge cabinet that I had all my gallery stuff in. And one compartment had plates that I've turned, and we didn't have any wall space in here to do it. I have a huge hallway in the middle of the house. It's a 10 by 10 room that connected all the other rooms, old house. We put 22 plates around the top of around the perimeter of the room. My wife and I, my wife had to get up on a ladder. I can't get up on a ladder. And she put those 22 plates up, and she turns to me and says, okay, get the spinner, we need some more. I got room here, 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 here. So I think I have mission to turn 10 more plates right now. And the fun ones are not segmented, but they're quilt patterns that you glue up, like 9-block or 6-block or star, or whatever they call them. They're as bad as we are with naming projects. But if I turn those, and the platter is not the important part, the design, the finish is. If you hold it up with a sealer on it and you can see the center ring, you see the outline. But if you can see the center ring, you don't really have it. You're close, but you don't really have it. It's one that looks as flat as glass. You don't have to make it as glossy as glass. Make it as flat as glass. It teaches you the abilities to scrape. And scraping will do that versus slicing tools or gouging tools. You can scrape, you can negative scrape if you choose. But if you learn how to scrape and pass it across there, you can get a slick finish. Less sanding, no tear out. And that's if you sharpen it up right. WorldwideWoodTurners.org. You have something to chat about this evening. We'd like to hear about it. You can get in. If you got a little gallery, our demonstration is going to go right at the top of the hour.
Hey, Eddie.
Hey.
Yes, it's Dave Edwards from Michigan.
I see you, Dave.
Okay. I mentioned to Billy Dillard last week that I had just received my, what do you call it, laser?
Yes.
And well, I spent this whole week setting it up. So here's the picture of how I got it set up. I got fresh air coming in from the side here, not coming in, but it's taking all the smoke out of here and putting it into my garage. And I'm working in the basement. And then I put this in a steel cabinet. The doors were shut and keep all the dust out. And then this is my computer right here on top. In the front, I had just got it like hinged on there so that when I go to take it apart, I mean, storage, I can just put it in the back. So that's what I come up with.
Oh, I
haven't hardly used it, but I tried to use it, but I haven't figured out how to the files, how to bring the files into it to do different designs yet, and what program to use. I haven't figured that out.
What is that, an EG master?
Yes, it is. Master plus 2+.
You can bring in, you can import art by putting it in your photo file. And if you generate something, convert it to a JPEG, put it in your photo file. And then when you open an EG software, where you get load image, top right-hand corner, they got a picture of a camera. Click on that, and that will go to the photo file.
On the sides, I took just a 2x6 and raised the whole thing up. And then I've got a piece of plastic in the center there that I can raise. I will be getting one of those lab lift things that you were just talking about. And so I figured I got my air here, and then I got my light, and I've got all the things here, and then I got electricity here to plug everything all in. So it's all like self-contained, but I won't be able to put anything larger, only straight in maybe.
Well, and after I get my equipment in the house, my new shop, part of my, I've relayed out what I'm going to do with everything except the lathe. I know where the lathe has to go, but if I have room, I'm going to put a table right in front of the window and put a box fan up at the window.
Well, I've got this air. What I'm saying, this air, it sucks a 4-inch air that would be sucking the air out of the basement up into my garage for the smoke. So the air, when it's smoke, and when it's sucking all that out, it's bringing in the air, fresh air coming into the room. So I didn't even smell it when I tried it out.
Good. All right. Because there are some hazards.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, David. All right. Oh, wow.
Nice,
Right off
Dave.
the bat, we getting sharing. We've seen Billy Dillard's rig when he did a demo, about 3 weeks ago and lit the fire. Yeah, Billy, we've landed on you.
That's okay.
But
Santa Claus is bringing me another one.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know the fat guy in a red suit served this late. I thought he was done.
It's probably going to be a month before I get it, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'm looking to change my rotation device, and I was told 6 to 8 weeks, and that's the fastest. Big demand, a lot of pressure on these folks, and I guess they all have to float. So I receive things on a regular basis out of the United States, and I got notice the other day from FedEx that their 5-day delivery is now 15 to 20. So it might be an overload. I'm thinking if they give them to Amazon, I'd give them tomorrow. I like steel cut oats for breakfast, and can sometimes get them in the middle of the day. And I buy a tub from Amazon. They didn't have them, and I told my wife, I said, "Look, they have these cans of this other product, and I can get those at Amazon." I know I said it's a 6-pack, so but she didn't hear that. Now I have 12 cans. I'm I'd eaten 3 meals a day for a while. But 36 hours after I ordered it, I had them. They're going to give some of the other delivery companies and brick and mortar firms a big run for their money. We passed that at the post office we go to every day. We pass that outlet where the Amazon trucks, and I know there was 80 to 100 trucks in line today to pick up goods, and they use contract drivers. They don't bring them in, and they don't need them, and they pack those things full when they leave. And
they're building more of those centers every day.
Yep.
every day.
Yep. That's how they're doing it. They're big warehouses.
And I hear that they can hurt the industry. I don't know. I have this little thing inside that said, Walmart came in and did that 30 years ago. And now Amazon is doing it. They're getting rid of the brick and mortar. But what do you need? You can probably find it. And not wrinkle release. My wife wanted wrinkle release because some drapes come out the dryer that way. And she finds spraying wrinkle release. And I'm thinking, wrinkle release, when I was a kid, that was water. But there's a
Not
product.
an iron.
Yeah. You heat and actually, if you heat the water up and put it in a pump sprayer when it's really hot and you do a mist, while they're hanging, it'll work. I learned that a long time ago, how to drink us out of clothes because I don't like the iron. At the top of the hour, we're going to do the video gallery, and that's where you send us photographs to worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. That's where you send the photographs at worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. That's our mailing address. And we will use whatever we receive from Wednesday morning until Wednesday morning, and we put them in our video gallery. And we show you all these pieces of work. Now, you can take one photograph of a piece and say, here you go. But really, I don't just want to see that. I want to see what happens down here, up here, back here, what kind of finish you have on it. If you have some sweeps in it or whatever, show them to us. So if you give us multiple photographs of the piece that you turn, we will use those multiple photographs in our video gallery, and it goes into our newsletter. The latest one, I had a typo. I said the last one. Excuse me. In the promotion when I've sent it out. No, it's just the latest one. We use the photographs in there. And also Dave Rhodes, our master webmaster, uses those same photographs on our website. So 2 days ago, I sent David about 60 photographs. And he will go through and sort them out and lay them out and show them all off. And that's on the world's greatest wood turning website. And Dave gets that stuff in, boom, it goes there. You see, Matt, last week, Matt Harbor did the thing about the articulating arms, and that's my articulating arm. For cameras, all that paperwork, that description, the PDF on all of it, on our website right now. So if you need it, that's where you can get it at. If you'd like to add something, it's easy. Just add it. All you have to do is send it to David. I got to caution you. If it's copyrighted by somebody or it was printed by them, that's the catch. If it was printed by them and you copied their printed document, we may not be able to use it. If it's fresh meat, we can use it. If it's generated by you, we can use it. I have an image on my website, eddiecastleman.com, about sharpening the Ellsworth cutter, the gouge. And I went right to David Ellsworth, nice man. Went right to him, told him what I wanted to do. David wrote on his PDF, on a sheet copy of the PDF, that I had permission to rework, duplicate, etc., as long as due credit is given. That's written on the piece. I'm taking it as a release, as long as I don't make money on it. If you copy something out of a magazine, can't do that. I don't want to put the club in that liability. Now, and it's a terrible liability. We don't have any money, but they get hurt. Bob Grinstead said he's working on that. We got a few minutes ago, Matt Harbor was talking about shear scraping. Tom Hatch has said he's got his steady rest finished. What are we talking about? Tim in a little while about what he's turned this week. We have, oh, wait, put the brakes on. Bob Grinstead's developing a jig for spiral flutes. Front row. Spiral flutes. What's that gonna be? They,
Brenda's got her tool.
did you sign him up?
Oh, no, not yet. But Brenda just said she got that tool that whacked her.
Oh, you do? Brenda, we want to see it. The sling wool. Is that a Sears tool?
Yes.
It's Craftsman.
Oh, so
Hold
freaking
the-
rough and gosh.
That's a
Hold the
little
tool into the camera.
Okay.
too much overhanging the tool rest.
No, actually, I measured the tool rest to the wood right now where I stopped. It's a 1/2 inch.
No, that's not bad.
Too low?
Continental gouge.
Yeah.
This is my favorite tool. I love this one.
Now it can go around corners.
Yeah. I turn that thing up on edge and get a slice out of it, just like in a skew. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can.
it's a big spindle gouge.
Yeah. Okay. What I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that same tool. That same tool came with my original Sears Craftsman lathe a long time ago.
I bought a set of these. I think there was 4 pieces of them for $4 at a garage sale.
Yep.
Well, if you like using that tool, you might want to order you a new one through Amazon.
Yeah, they're probably still in stock.
One that's
Brenda,
original.
were you using it on a spindle? Were you
Um,
using it on a spindle?
Well, I had a 12-inch log between centers and was cutting this in. Yeah.
Spindle.
Yeah.
No.
Brenda?
No, you're end grain.
Were
You're
you
end grain. You should have never been using that tool on it. You were cutting end grain.
were you trying to use it as a hollowing tool to hollow the bowl out?
No.
No, she had the log run between centers, spinning it sideways. She was cutting side grain.
Mhm.
She didn't have it between centers long grain.
Right.
Brenda,
Whoa.
Brenda, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, hold that tool up where it's flat, where we can see it. See that tool right there? You ought to retire that tool and never use it again. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Because it's crooked?
No, you see where the tang's at? That tool is leaning down. The only thing that tool's gonna do is get you in trouble and it's gonna hurt you again.
But it's my favorite.
Either do
Yeah,
what
but
Ronnie said, or drill a hole in the handle and hang it up on the wall to remind you to be careful.
That's
You're,
the
you're,
only,
think,
that's the
you're
only
thinking
thing
you're,
it's good for, Brenda. That tool's gonna hurt you again.
you're thinking you got the handle down, and you do, but you don't have the handle down far enough because the tool is not on the same plane.
Right. But no, I'm watching this here, when I'm holding it.
Yeah, but you gotta retrain your body to that angle.
Yeah.
And I tell folks that when you use a tool, you should get in a position where if you twist your wrist, it goes from not cutting to cutting. Twist the wrist. If you gotta move your arm or your body or whatever to make a cut, too many muscles. Old people, not that we're old people can't move all those muscles in that coordinated effort. So, but they can twist their hand, twist their wrist.
Yeah.
Also what Ronnie said, throw it away or get rid of it. You know, it got bent on an impact. Instant impact. Tell me that the steel wasn't stressed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually, this, you know, I think this is the one where I was using when the tool rest broke before on me. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was this tool that I was using that day too.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that too, that a lot of tools with tangs like that over time, depending on how long they've been used, that tang gets stressed over time and they will give at one point or another. Whether you're using it on a spindle or whatever, you know, it depends on how many hours it's been used, that tang, they become stressed and then they become brittle because of the stress and they will bend or break eventually. That's the problem with tools like that.
Well,
And you
no,
don't
well,
get a warning.
let's get straight on this. That tool is to be used between for spindles between
Centers.
centers.
Yeah.
It's for spindle work only. It is not for anything that you're cutting into end grain as you're cutting side grain on a bowl.
No.
It is never to be used. It's a spindle roughing gouge is pretty much what it is. It is never to be used like you would a bowl gouge. Use a bowl gouge. That was your problem.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
that's
you
your
very
basic
much
problem.
for clarifying that. That's
Yes,
danger 101.
And you could straighten it out and probably safely use it as a spindle roughing gouge on between centers.
Yeah. Well, that's why
Okay.
I'm #1 Band-Aid brigade master.
But what you're doing needs a bowl gouge, not a spindle gouge for what you were doing.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because see that little small tang on there, that tang will break off.
I
It
was
doesn't
using
have enough on it.
I was using my roughing gouge at first.
Well, it's roughing
Shouldn't be
gouge.
using
Use
that.
that either.
You shouldn't use that either on a bowl.
Oh.
Roughing gouge and those two gouges, you need to use a proper bowl gouge on a bowl.
Okay.
I think if
It's
nothing
dangerous.
else,
It is very dangerous. In fact, the roughing gouge got renamed to a spindle roughing gouge to say, do not use on bowls.
Anything with a short tang or a narrow tang like that should never be used on a bowl or base grain or end grain.
Yeah,
It has to be a solid bar all the way down into the tool handle.
but you can't limit it to that because a lot of the tool manufacturers are making their spindle roughing gouges with round solid tangs, just like a bowl gouge.
Yeah.
yes, they are now.
So you gotta it's gotta
makes
go
this-
with the actual tool. A spindle roughing gouge, continental gouges, it's all for spindle work. It's not to be touched on a bowl.
This is a great lesson for everybody. Brenda, you got lucky, but you
Yeah.
know, you can
And the
really
reason
start
is-
using a roughing gouge, whether it's a continental gouge or a regular roughing gouge on end grain. So on those tools, please, if you don't know better, take note today and do not use that unless you're between centers on spindle work, because you will be hurt and it will be over before you know anything's going to happen.
Oh yeah, it happened quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You didn't hear that warning bell go off.
Yeah.
Don't
no,
do that.
that hurt. Can you see the
Bruise.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
black and blue?
Well,
Yeah.
you're actually lucky. I know some people that have the tool actually broke off and it's stuck up in their overhead.
Yeah. I've known people that it broke and the impact broke their wrists or fingers. I mean, it's all about the grain orientation. End grain isn't forgiving. It's going to bury itself and break that tool, where the side grain is just going to break free on a spindle.
Hey, folks, I'm going to jump here with both feet right now, because what we've talked about in the last 4 or 5 minutes with Brenda out of Ohio is the tool in a presentation, roughing, bowl gouge, spindle gouge, yada, 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 yada. All these tools. Dane Chandler lines up our demonstrations. And if you'd like to do a demonstration, tell Dane. But what I would like to see is somebody do a demonstration that would show those tools, those impacts, and the best use on spindle work and bowl work only with tool presentation. I don't care what you make, only tool presentation. Because just like we've been talking about the skew and the gouge and the roughing gouge and all that, if we narrow it all down to just how you bring it to the piece to cut and slice without plowing, big thing for me, don't plow. If we could get a demonstration that'll show you, and I'm getting this, I'm seeing it on the chat right now. If you present it wrong, you get to give us blood. And my thing has been, we won't show any wounds. It's been a teasing matter with Brenda for a long time because she showed us a couple of wounds early on. And we've made her queen of the Band-Aid brigade, just as a joke.
I've earned it.
Yeah, and we have other folks that we tease about that. And that's because we're a friendly club. Our friendly club would like to see a demonstration. Doesn't that be one turner? If you're good with a roughing gouge and you want to do just that demo, do it. We've got one of the finest skew workers in the world that's done demonstrations for us, amazing demonstrations. He may say, okay, I'm not going to turn a piece. I want to show you tool presentation. Same thing on an Ellsworth gouge, a bowl gouge, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We'd like to see those. And they could just be one piece once a week. And that would be ideal because we're sharing with people who don't have the ability to get to or do things with the way we talk about it. We have novice turners. We don't want to say rookies. We don't say beginners. We say novice and seasoned. Because I hadn't bumped into an expert yet. But we have that category. We'd like to get some input from the seasoned to the novice. And if you're in with us, put it in the chat and Dane will line us up. In just a few minutes, we're going to do just that. We're going to go to Dane Chandler in Arizona because we're worldwide. And we're going to get information and a demonstration on how to do something. But first, this is the past week's video gallery of what was submitted to this club. Here it is. Cut it off early. I apologize. Doug Miller had a beautiful rolling pin that was on the tail end of that, and somehow a couple of things got skipped or tricked up in that video. That might not be the one I decided to use as the finished piece, but but that's the video gallery. You'd like to be in it. It's easy. It doesn't cost a nickel. You send us a photograph of your work, or photographs of your work, worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com, and that's what we use to generate that. And also, go, as I said earlier, newsletter and website, because we get to show the world some of the best wood turning in the world, and that's why we're here. And hey, you think we're not experts? There are none. I'd love it. I love showing what I do and showing how I do it, and then seeing what you do. Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta fix this. Dane, can you, okay, it went away. But if you've got something to share, a comment on it, whatever, that's what we do. You're on worldwidewoodturners.org, and that's the name of our website. And we've got our Dane channel out of Tucson, Arizona, is our demonstrator for tonight. And Dane is going to, I don't have any idea what Dane's going to do. What are you going to do,
I'm here.
Dane?
I'm here.
All right. Spotlight yourself, sir.
Alrighty. Spotlight.
There
Can
you
y'all see
go.
me? See
We
part of
got
me?
you now, buddy.
Right on.
Yes,
So,
sir.
during the demo, can I get somebody to take down names if anybody submits for gallery show and tell for later? At the moment, there's nobody signed up, so it's a fresh list if anybody
Okay.
comes in during the demo.
Okay, co-host digitally, jump on the board.
Okay, thanks, Brenda.
All right.
And
All
Brenda
right,
will
cool.
Brenda will introduce
Broke
you
my
for
left hand.
gallery.
Right. I can
Brenda
That'll
will
still.
work.
say,
That'll work. All right, well, guess without further ado, let's get started. So I posted some teasers. So what I'm going to attempt to do tonight is to make a 8-winged Chosin style bow. Some people will call them manta rays. Some people will cut in the wings and then cut wings off to where you have your 4 at the bottom, then you only have 1 tipping up on one side, or you can have 2 or 3 or any of the various combinations. So typical square turning a lot of air. Instead of having 4 corners whipping at your hand, eventually you get into it to where you've got 8 corners that'll be whipping at your hand or trying to get a hold of you if you're make a miscue and get your hand on the other side of the tool rest. So this is what we're going to try and do. All right, so with that, I milled up a nice piece of pecan. So I'm starting with a 5x5 block by 3 inches. How you like that grain?
Gorgeous.
That's pretty, ain't it?
Beetles got a hold of it, huh?
Yeah, it sure did. Actually, it's a piece of flame box elder. I was just teasing you. It's not pecan.
It's gorgeous, whatever it is.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was a lot brighter last night when I took it off the bandsaw. You know how UV light gets after that red when it hasn't been finished. So anyhow, so got it all straightened up and square. Anytime you do a square turning, it's always best to go ahead and put your finished final prep on your square surfaces, because it's so much easier to sand or scrape or plane. Me personally, I throw it on the plane, hand plane, and then if I got any problematic grain, I'll take a card scraper to it. So everything is real nice and smooth and glassy and doesn't require sandpaper. I find my centers. I do the 4-corner method, make my little box in the center. That gets my dead center. I'm gonna do the same on both sides. I'm gonna turn between centers. Got my stud center, got my live center. Mount her up. Can you guys hear me all right?
Gotcha, bud.
Excellent.
Yes,
Excellent.
sir.
Yep,
Folks,
sounds good.
This is where you learn screen grab. If you see them doing a move that you want to remember, do a screen grab on your computer. It stays with you.
What do you mean screen grab? I'm sorry, I don't understand.
On my Mac, I'm
thing.
pressing- on my Mac, I'm pressing Shift Command 3, and I get a picture of what is on my screen, and I get to save it. On Shift Command 4, I can zoom in and see just that part of it. I save it, and if I need to look at it tomorrow, whatever, it's going to be in my photo file, and I go to
Thank you,
grab
sir.
it. On Windows, somebody tell us how you do it on Windows.
Hit the print screen button.
Okay,
No, you can do the same thing. You can, it's the Windows button, Shift S.
Right, but if you just hit the print screen button, you only got to hit one. And
Yeah, but it prints the whole screen, not just whatever
well,
block you want to look at.
well, true. Yeah, you should format, the method that the print screen
You
uses.
can
But
crop
yeah.
it down with the other one.
And then on an Android, you just press your power button and the low volume key
down.
at the same time.
You did it on your iPhone also.
Yeah.
I do it all the time by accident. I got pictures of all kinds of desktops.
Same here.
Okay, but that, what I'm talking about screen grab, it really is if you see something Dane is doing and you say, oh, I wish I could remember that, do it, screen grab it.
Yeah. Maybe it'll be interesting.
Well, I
Okay,
did it a minute ago.
So for the tools we're going to use tonight, I'm going to use 1/2-inch bowl gouge. I sharpen my bowl gouges that are greater than 3/8 inch with the 50-degree Raptor setup rig. So I have a 50-degree bevel on the nose and my wings are ground at approximately 25 degrees. And I will be using my spindle gouge to cut the bead or cut the V groove in the wings. And so for it, I use a 40-degree bevel from the Raptor setup gouge. Also, I've added a strip of tape, colored it red. So maybe you guys can see
Oh yeah,
how
that's
the
great.
flute is going to be open or closed.
Very good move. That's an instructor.
Well, I'm learning from Cade, so I'm trying to do better. I'm going to try and talk a little more during the demonstration compared to just plowing through it like I normally do. Face shield. So the first thing I'll do whenever I do square turnings like this, even though I know I'm fairly square and flat and everything like that, I'll still flatten, make sure everything is, make sure all 4 corners are on the same plane. So I'll flatten one side, then I'll back it out, I'll flip it around, and I'll do the same to the opposite side on this orientation. And again, I just want to do that so these legs or the spurts, if it's on the top surface, are all at the same level, same height. So let's get started. Now I may have to reposition the camera. I'm not sure if the camera is going to be in my way or not here. I'm going to try and work around it. So bear with me if I have to reposition. So that side's done. Didn't take much. And I am going to have to move you. Try putting it behind.
What are you looking for?
that view okay?
Mine's September 22nd.
Fine.
So other,
Yes, view's
your
fine.
mom is June 6th. That's the most important.
Okay, that is something
That's
about,
the only point. That one and June the 6th is
Dane, I'm gonna come back and ask you to unmute. Dane,
Got it.
okay, gotcha.
Okay, when I flattened this side, I did a pull cut. And for demonstration purposes, for this side, I'm going to do a push cut. So essentially, I'm going to come in real light, find the cut, find the wood, get the bevel, and then just push across nice and light. And then something that when you don't know how a tool is going to cut, or if it's a new tool for you, or you just ground a new angle on something and you're wanting to see how it's going to cut, you can literally just put your tool against the wood and rotate it by hand, and it'll give you that cut. It doesn't take much. So if you're able to get a little curlicue like that based on your tool presentation by spinning it by hand, you should be able to get the same when you got your machine powered on, doing that same tool presentation. Does that make sense?
To me, it
Yes,
does.
it does.
Yep. Gotcha.
It's a good, easy way to figure things that you get the slice cut.
All right, that's got that. Okay, so trying to decide which I want to use for the bottom or the top. I think we'll see how deep those bug holes go and use that for the top. Might look interesting.
Yeah.
So again, on these square turnings, so the way I approach it and the way I go into it is on doing my bottom, I'll first identify the max diameter that's gonna hit each center line of the square piece here. And what I'll do is I'll just chase the image that's being provided here by the ghost. And this just gives you an outline of where to make your cut. Gives you a template to follow along as you're working a project like this, or at least for me, that's what I use it for. So I'm just going to come in with my pencil and follow it, and it should be right there on the edge. And it is. And so I know on the left-hand side of this line, that's where my wings are at for my legs. And then on the inside is where I'm going to be excavating out. But at the same time, I got to remember to save enough room for my tenon. So I will wind up remounting this in a chuck. And so with that, we'll go ahead and identify where the tenon is going to go. Seen me do this before. I take a number 2 pencil, it's 1/4 inch in diameter. Your lie center is 1 11/16 approximately. And so you go like that. And now you've got your perfect 2 inch, 2 1/16 inch tenon outline for your chuck. And when you're excavating in here, carving out the inside here, you got to be careful not to go up too high, because you got to have enough room to be able to part the ways to get your leg wings and your top wings. So you have to be mindful of how deep you're going in. So start and stop. Check your progress. It's looking pretty.
It's going to be real pretty.
And then so what I'm looking for, I'm as this is spinning around, as that arc is developing, what I'm looking for is that boat, what one half of the bow tie. The two of them together looks like a bow tie, but especially when it's spinning, it looks like a bow tie, or at least that's what I see in my little eyes. And so again, you do need to start and stop, because you don't want to get too high, because you've got to have that clearance to get inside to make the complementing arc of the legs and the top wings. So at the moment, I think I'm good. It's not a big deal. You got to come back to it. We're between centers. Pull it off, take it out, flip it around, and you're back in business. Another reason why I like turning between centers, or starting majority of my projects between centers, is because you can do that. You can adjust for hidden grain that becomes exposed and you want to have it in part of the project, all you got to do is loosen it up, rotate it around, and change that grain orientation for what's going to be seen once you start returning the finished project.
We haven't heard from Sue tonight. I just found out she's in Okeechobee. She'll see us again next week.
Oh, okay. All right, so same thing. So we got the bottom developed. In fact, let me flip that back around and go ahead and cut in my tenon. And I'm just going to use my 1/2-inch skew to do that. Again, we outlined it earlier with the pencil trick to give us our perfect diameter.
It doesn't look, boy, that looks sort of like a skew being used on the side.
And that's what my 1/2-inch skew looks like. Similar grind is what Dean and Cade and a few others use. I like the curve on the bottom on the toe because it allows you to be able to see around it, especially when you're cutting beads. All right, so let's do the top.
Dean, while you're setting up, I'm going to mention that John Combs is doing some pens for the Coast Guard. He fell on the ice, busted a couple of ribs. Turners, he needs some help. He'll send you the kits, it'll send you the clips and the wood and everything else. If you're interested to help out John, all you have to do is go to our chat and John's in there and tell him, you know, you'll help him out to help the Coast Guard.
So I did the same thing. Follow the ghost image to identify where the wingtips are going to be at and then where you're cutting solid wood. Also at the same time, I always like to identify to try and mate up and match that curve from the top of the bowl going down through the bottom of the bowl. And so I know I've left off on the bowl base down here about roughly 1/2 inch. And so I'm just going to come in here and identify that. And so what this does, it allows me to determine where I'm going to start the excavation for hollowing out for the internal cavity of the bowl. And also it gives me the line of where I want to cut for if you decide to have a lidded vessel, which 9 times out of 10, I'll be doing the same for this, taking my parting tool and cutting a recess so your lid can sit into. But I always try to do this before I start cutting. Easier to work with the flat surface first. Have all the material there before removing it and then trying to estimate what it's supposed to be.
Look at those shavings. Look at those shavings coming off, folks.
So we're getting close to the bow tie shape that I'm looking for. Looks good.
Members, if you're just joining us, Dane Chandler in Tucson is doing a demonstration on a bow tie box or bow tie bowl. This is kind of multi-use.
Yeah,
and he's
right.
showing us how to cut it. Free. You know, a little while ago, I said Joe and Coombs needs some help. This is a club full of members that want to help and be part of it. 5 turners have jumped up and said, I want to be part of this. 5 people want to help John Coombs make those pins.
Dane, how big are you marking out in the center section?
So I'm just putting in the, I should have done this earlier. This would have gave me a better gauge of that outside profile I'm looking for the bow tie appearance. But essentially what I'm doing, the primary reason for stopping and marking here is to get my center line, because this is what I'm going to use to cut in my V groove and start working the wings. So this is the catchy part. Can be. Give me a minute.
Let's be safe. Brenda, put your mask on.
Right, there you go. Yeah, the whole goal is to avoid sanding. So sharp tools, proper technique, light cuts, turn fast. And when I say turn fast as you're comfortable with. I turn fast, but I take light cuts most of the time.
I like the way you put that. Turn as comfortable as you are.
So you're going to have a lot of air in this orientation here. So at the close point between the wing corner and the tool rest is 1/2 inch. But here in the center, you're 1.5 inches. So again, this is where speed comes into play, but this is where you've got to be extremely careful with your tool presentation. You're not going directly into the wood, open fluted. Your flute's going to be closed pretty much.
And folks, it's colored in the flute so you can see the movement.
And then it's essential that you're catching your bevel. I think Mark Sillay coins it best. Cutting east to west And this is ever present in doing this type of a cut, because you're going in, you're essentially creating a V groove, but you're going in, you're engaging the cut, and then you're rotating and pushing in. I'll start with my tool handle down as I'm entering the cut. And then as I'm finishing the cut, the tool handle is coming up to complete that cutting motion. Does that make sense?
It does. Show me.
Okay, are you starting in the center and then working out?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep. And this can also be done with a skew,
I
but
was
it's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, Caden, Canada's probably saying, "Oh, I know. Wait, I'll do that from a skew."
Okay. Make sure everything's nice, bright and tight. And so a lot of times, depending, well, the majority of the time, whenever I'm turning this type style of a piece, I'll primarily do all my cutting on one side, and then I'll flip it around so I can cut the other side, because I'm just more comfortable. One, because I'm able to take shelter behind the headstock and be out of the line of fire, as opposed to being over here on this side. And I'm not ambidextrous for cutting something like this, so I don't like switching hands.
Take shelter, I love it.
Yeah, it's
That's a good idea, because those corners could do some damage.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Great camera, boy. We really get a good shot here.
And so for this, I think I can pull the camera around, because I won't be fighting with my bowl gouge from my swing. So let me.
Yeah, that flex arm's pretty handy, eh, Dane?
Yeah, I should put that up, huh? Shouldn't I? Let me do that. Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah, no problem. Looking good. So
I need to go get some Dramamine. Wow.
Oh, sorry. See, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see my cut though. Can
Once
you
you
see
start
all right?
cutting, we will.
Okay. Is the image still coming through okay?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you good. As soon as you start cutting air, we'll be able to see it.
Yeah, get that wood
Yep.
out of the way.
Yeah, right.
it looks good. We can see through the ghost wood, so we can see your tool rest and the tool.
For that. Boy, you can't get a better shot than we have right there.
So the one thing I didn't do was raise my tool rest. So I have stop collars on all my tool rests, and they're all set for my bowl gouges. For spindle turning, for use with my spindle gouge, I like to be a little bit above center. All right. And so we're going to turn about 1,000. The tool handle down, tip is up.
I don't think I've ever seen a better demonstration of how to do that. Looking at the ghost and the center. Perfect.
Yeah, that's
Yes, that's a perfect angle.
great. So yeah, it's very key doing this, that you're watching that ghost image for your cut, because you can't see anything, or you don't see the proper information looking at the tool point cutting into the wood down here at the bottom. You can see everything developing from the ghost image.
Dane, is it possible to move the dust collector? It's interfering with the ghost image.
Move the what?
The dust collector, it's interfering with the ghost image on the back side. If it's possible, that'd be so much better, a lot better view.
Yep, that was just my light, but yeah.
Dane, just because I've never seen this done before, are you trying to join this all the way across? Is that
Yes.
how deep you're going in?
Yes, it'll be joined all the way across.
Cool, thank you. I'm sorry asking so many questions.
No, that's all right. That's the purpose of the demos. So as you're cutting these style, you have to resist the temptation of excess stock removal. It seems natural to want to start shaving away and start forming that leg, but you've got to work from the center mass out, because otherwise, if you get too thin, then your legs or the top wings will inevitably fly off, either through speed, osmosis, or just grabbing a hold of the tool the wrong way. We're getting there. We've got less than 2 inches. Before it's joined together.
How thick was that piece started with?
And so this is where you need to be careful when you're carving out the top and the bottom, because if you get too deep and then you start making your big V groove to define the legs and top, you wind up making a projectile captive ring that you weren't expecting to make. So I need to take this corner off so I can have some more room to get the tool in. Same thing with this side. Oh, looks like we have an interstate going around there. All right, so we're connected. So now we'll start shaping the legs. It's hard to shear scrape going around a corner like that. and taking cover. All right, I like the way it looks. So, like I said, I'll flip it around because it's easier to duck on this side. If y'all don't mind, let me put a fresh edge on this real quick.
They say that sharp is better while Dane's away on a grinder. We will be doing gallery following this demonstration. If you like to get in gallery and show the piece you've got, all you need to go is chat and tell the chat, I've got something to show. Brenda Thornton is handling our chat input tonight. Brenda will put you on a list and introduce you. When Brenda introduces you, start talking. We have 97 members aboard tonight, and we have to find you, so you got to start talking. Also, if you've ever seen a better demonstration than this that was absolutely free, let me know where you got it. We want to go there.
Right. All right, so I'm back. Fresh edge put on. Won't take too many cuts to clean this up. So, first cut, come in to take the hump all the way to the center. And then one more cut from the edge all the way in, and then shear straight back, and we should be good.
Man, oh man.
All right, so that's it for the cutting the wings.
Hey, Dane,
Yes.
is the goal to keep the wings touching in the middle?
Do what?
Is the goal to keep the wings touching in the middle?
Define touching.
Well, I mean, they come together. The lines come together. Okay,
Um,
so.
Yeah,
they
the
seem
goal is
kind of-
this. The goal
they
is
seem-
this.
Okay, they seem kind of thick. Did you meet your lines? I'm just curious.
Yes.
Okay,
Can you see?
I see your lines, but they're like halfway. Were you trying to turn to those or were those?
No, that was just a gauge on my for the depth. Because I know
see.
if I hit those lines, I'm gonna be in trouble as I'm
Gotcha.
cutting my internal groove.
Okay, thanks for the clarification. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, you bet.
Hey,
That
Dane,
is rule 747A. The inside dimension can never exceed the outside dimension.
That's right.
hey, Dane, what was the original size of your block?
5 by 3.
Okay. Sorry, guys, I was wrong. Somebody
Yeah,
had
yeah, it's mixed up.
asked that. Several of them,
Huh?
5 by 5. I answered 4 by 4.
Y'all were close.
Yeah. I'm wrong a lot. I admit that.
Just a different set of information.
Exactly.
Ain't nothing wrong with being wrong.
No, there isn't.
That's the only way you learn how to be right.
There you go.
Yeah, the person that's never made a mistake has never tried anything.
You're right.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, remember that weathermen are wrong almost daily and they still keep their jobs.
That's right. That's the only profession where you can be wrong and get paid.
And I had a weatherman quit talking to me one time when I
It
was
didn't
doing
work in my
radio.
profession.
Yeah, because I said the weatherman, only thing they do is a wild ass guess. We have 7 or 8 folks have signed up for chat. I mean, for gallery tonight, folks. Brenda's keeping track of that. Put her to work. You want to
Got 6 of them so far now.
All
6
right.
of them for gallery? Watch out, Dane. She's trying to get your job.
Oh, she's a good cohort.
Talking about weatherman, remember, doctors are always practicing.
Well, yeah,
Ooh.
you know, and same with accountants. You know, we have accounting practice as well. However, there can be some serious confines to being wrong in that profession.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
so much forgiveness there in that area.
Well, no, you know, it's funny. People, when it comes to people's money,
Yeah.
they take issue with that.
They take it personal.
Yeah, they do for some reason.
Notice the
I
stop
tried to
collar we have.
explain that concept of it being an accounting practice that I had. And, you know, sometimes some people didn't care for that. And I'm like, well, you know, risk. Remember this document you signed? All right. So we're done with the bottom. We're done forming our wings. And so now we're just going to carve out the center.
Dane, do you want to change the camera angle again?
Oh, sorry.
That'll make it easier to see.
Oh, on attention.
Look, I got some of the center
And how's that angle?
Your head, you don't like that.
Looks pretty good to me. Okay.
All right, so bowl gouge.
Got a lovely drain in. Oh, what are they doing?
We'll start carving this out. can go ahead and cut my recess here. Get ready to, should say.
Members, if you're just joining us, you'll understand why that groove is there in just a few moments. This is what's called the bow tie box Dane's turning for us. The entire video will be on our website in about 4 or 5 days.
Cutting funny. Feels like a void coming up. Getting into the little tunnels from the creatures. You guys should have said something. Can't see the inside. That's okay. We're done.
What the bug holes really do a lot for that piece.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
You've turned it nice because the bottom doesn't have a divot or a flat spot. Not
No.
that bottom of the bowl.
Nope, it's all the way nice.
Yes.
Looks
nice.
good, Dane.
Thank you.
Dane, I have a question for you. Can you do the legs at 90-degree angles to each other?
Not following.
Okay, instead of having them lined up like you do, maybe take the top legs and make it rotate them 90 degrees.
No, you can't do that.
Well, it's one solid block.
Okay.
Yeah. If you had individual blocks and then you put them together, you could.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you'd have, glue it up or.
Okay, I just
literally turn two individual pieces and put it together.
I was just wondering if there's a way to be able to do it on the
You
lathe.
started, if you started with a cube, you could make them, you could do that. You started with the cube, I mean, you'd have three
Right, but that's
prongs. That's a different.
sure
ball.
different
Yeah.
turning.
Yep.
Different turning.
Yeah, then you only have 3 legs.
Yeah.
Well, if
Okay,
you mounted
thanks.
from corner to corner on a cube, yeah, you'd have 3 legs.
Right.
But
Great
Thanks,
job.
Dane. Very nice.
Korean style, Chosin.
very nice.
Nice job.
Very nice. Folks, the world's greatest free wood turning club. This is demonstrations you get to see each week. If you'd like to be part of it, jump in. Dane, right there, when he's not turning an excellent project, is our demonstration master, and he will line you up. And hey, if you even breathe like you could do a demonstration, Dane lines you up. Because we don't let anything get away. And it's not a matter of tool height or anything else. It's a matter of education and what we can share with our members, because we all gather here on Wednesday evenings for just that, to share and gather information. And Dane showed you just now some chucking ideas, some cutting ideas, layout ideas, how he presented a tool. And I'll tell you what, I've seen a lot of demonstrations. His presentation of that piece that he did, the bow tie, and he was coming down and putting those inside. If camera position, the ghost, the tool rest, the tool, and the way he presented it, the way you can see that you go in as a slice was fantastic. And we share more of that. Dane, again, thank you so much for being part of the program tonight. This was a really, really good demonstration.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Accolades should go to the chat if you wish. And folks, whatever's in the chat can be saved tonight by pressing save the chat button at the bottom right-hand corner of the chat, and you get there. And earlier, one of our members,
Hey, Eddie.
I said, hey, go ahead.
Real quick. So I got a couple questions on my camera mount. So I'm going to spotlight myself and I'll show what it is.
I'm out, you're on.
A flex arm.
So it's the flex arm. So it attaches like so. And it's that rigid aluminum coil.
And folks, Dane's going to put the link to this in our chat in a little while.
It's got the pivot head. Yeah, it works pretty good, considering.
On Amazon. It's
Yes,
the
Amazon.
U green flexible phone stand.
Cade's got one, so I had to copy him.
All you need is some place to clamp it to.
That's right.
Yep.
Well, if you and Cade both have one, I got to order one.
Oh, you gotta get, it's handy. It
Ain't
works
bad.
great. It really is.
I'm writing it down as we speak.
Yeah, green flexible phone stand. And I'll look it up right now on Amazon, unless someone beats me to it.
Here, let me look at, hey, Cade, put yours in for the Canadian link. And then I'll put in the American link.
All right, I will.
I also noticed he did this whole presentation with just one camera too.
Correct.
An iPhone or
Android, iPhone, your cell phone. Yeah.
Oh, it's your cell phone. Okay, that's even better.
Yep. My Note 8. It used to be an accounting finance machine. Now it's a turning machine. Much better purpose for it now.
Thank you, Dane. Let me continue.
Hey, Dane, is yours a 25-inch or how long is yours?
What?
Your flex arm.
It's probably 25 inches.
Okay.
I'm looking for my link right now.
All right, we'll get that into chat, folks, so you have it.
Yeah, they're not very high.
Let y'all know.
Sound like a good price.
Yeah. A little while ago, I said if you can do a screen grab, do a screen grab or a screen snap or whatever, and that would give you something. Let me show you something, if you would. This is a screen grab of Kane putting this block in. Now, that is what I grabbed. I shrunk it down to fit on my program. But see the quality and the detail that's there? Now, that's him doing it. Now, if you want to copy somebody's work or see what's done, let's go over to David's place and take a look at the photograph he gave us of the mount he did for his Niji master. Now, that is the possibilities when you do screen grabs. And it's really a nifty way. Check it out on your computer, and you can get those pictures. And tomorrow we say, I wonder what that was. Then it's like we had it's right there on the computer. All right, so a little bit past the top of the hour. We got about 45 minutes to wrap up this program and this meeting this evening. Brenda Thornton has been taking names and getting folks lined up to do gallery. And remember, if Brenda introduces you, it's going to be your spotlight. You start talking, and we'll nab you and put you up there and look at the finest wood turning in the world. And I'm not an insurance salesman. There it is. Oh, wait, Billy Dillard. Yeah, I told you I've been playing with my laser. That's, the stencil lineup. That's pretty good. And that was one I did the other day. But this one that got me into trouble. That's the wife person. And the look should tell you how much trouble I was in. But have a little fun with the lasers. Let's go to Brenda. Brenda, who you have?
Hey, first up, we've got our own famous Dean Grimes.
But you can't help but talk, so talking so you can find me is not a big deal for me. Maybe getting me to stop talking. You got me, Captain?
You're up.
You're up there.
Okay.
Keep going, bud. And we'll get
All right, I'm here. I can. I stopped talking, didn't I? That probably helped.
Yeah, just keep going.
Here we go. All righty. The good news is I've had some time in the shop this week, a little bit more than normal. So I got a couple of projects turned, which was kind of nice. It's been a little slow out there, just, trying to hold down that job. I know that's got to be a 4-letter word, right? Okay.
Ryan and I were talking this morning. The real part about being retired is we don't remember what day of the week it is.
Right. Or what calendar date is.
So one of the things that I did in kind of keeping with the new year spirit, a lot of folks going to parties, is I turned a bottle stopper and I did a couple of different designs and showed some folks some designs. And this one, I just put a matte finish on it. I always do the glossy finish on these, but I think I may do a few with just a matte finish. Something a little bit different. And of course, if you've got a bottle stopper, you really need a bottle to put it in, right?
Love that.
Oh, now you look like Martin Clarkson doing bottles.
Well, you know, and Martin gave me this idea several weeks back. And when he did that, I said, you know, I'm gonna do a bottle for a video I released around New Year's. And you never guess what the next video is going to be with a stopper and a bottle, right?
Really? Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
That looks really good, Dane.
Gonna have to be a champagne glass, right?
Yep.
That's coming.
Looks good.
That'll be coming.
Good.
There you go.
You should do an inside out one.
An inside out.
with the champagne glass on the inside.
There you go.
Uh-oh. Now look, he's thinking.
Oh,
Anyway,
he's
that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And I don't think it's ever going to leave the house. The wife claimed that.
Are you
They
gonna be
tend
able
to
to
do that.
wood for the
Thank you, Dean. And Dean produces videos on YouTube on a regular basis. Search Dean Grimes on YouTube and you will get some awesome demonstration videos. Non-commercial, just like this program and this meeting, non-commercial. Brenda, who's up next?
Next up, we've got John from New Jersey.
Start talking, John.
John from New
I'm
Jersey.
talking. Can you hear me?
I hear you. I don't see you.
I'm here.
Look at the top of the list, Brenda.
What you got to show us today?
A bowl. Can you hear me? Can you find
Oh,
who
we
I
got you
am?
up in the middle of right on the front page.
Nice.
My son cut down a tree in his yard and it was laying in the backyard for about 6 months. So I went over and cut up a log and I took it home and I turned it. And I like the spalting on it.
Yes. See a lot of shit.
Very nice.
It's a tulip tree.
Now, don't
Okay.
get Brenda started with seeing animals in the grain, okay?
I don't see any
I
animals.
see a
in there.
parrot.
Did you go get the rest of the tree after turning that bowl?
Yeah, you know, I told them to save me a piece. And when I got there, it was an 8-foot log. So I cut it up so I can make 14 bowls.
Nice.
Nice.
There you go.
That's about it for me this week.
That looks great.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
You're
Beautiful
welcome.
work, gorgeous. And that's from a log laying in the yard someplace. And that's, you know, the beauty of
There's
wood
more
turning.
of
You make- There's no such thing as scrap wood. Who's up,
Right.
Brenda?
Next we got Birdhouse Bob.
Bob,
Hey, how's
Mama?
everybody doing?
Where's he
I
at?
got I've been experimenting a little something different with my birdhouses. Have you got me on the screen? Yeah, okay. And I took some spectra ply and made some bottoms of them. And then I took little pieces of spectra ply that was left over that was in the chuck and added it into the tops of them. So I was just trying something a little different. And
the
then I
famous
did this one, which is not glued up yet because I got to sand the top, but
That's nice.
so I'll try something a
I like
little
that
different.
one.
Than,
Love
I'd
those
originally bought the spectra ply for bottle stoppers, but I said I'd rather do birdhouses with it.
I got a whole bunch of it from Ruth Niles out in the shop.
Wonder
there.
what-
Something hooked up.
People keep buying them, so I'm gonna keep making them. So that's all I've got for tonight.
Good problem to have, Bob.
Beautiful, Bob. Bob is
Thank
our
you.
birdhouse master.
Yeah, he always does a good job.
Yep. Who's up, Brenda?
Next up, we got Tim Hatch.
Tim.
Come on down. Next winner.
Hey, good evening. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, there we go.
All right. So everybody may recognize this vase that came off my lathe about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Well, I put it all back together finally, and searching YouTube, Steve Ogle, who used to be out, I believe, a member on here a couple times, he had this steady rest design. I don't know if everybody can see the steady rest. So I put together the steady rest and then was able to actually turn the vase a little better. With the steady rest holding it, keeping it from coming off the lathe. And then as I was trying to go through the finish, once I took the steady rest off, give me that support that the old, learned this last week. Thanks, Dane. The old tennis ball in the tailstock. So I appreciate that. Oh, I'll tell you what, it made all the difference in the world, and that's my new go-to dig there for sure.
Right on.
But so that's all I got. Son was in the shop turning pins all weekend long when he was down for Christmas, so I didn't get a chance to do anything on my lathe other than work on this vase yesterday.
That vase is beautiful.
Y'all have a happy New Year. Appreciate it.
Very nice.
All right. Who's up next, Brenda?
Next up is Brent Sabatka.
Hello, folks. You got me there?
Hey, Brent.
I'm working on trying to learn piercing. So I did this little cutlet bowl. This one I call my little amoeba bowl. Just kind of a whole bunch of little amoebas in it. It's just cottonwood. Then after that one, I moved on.
Very nice.
Bumblebee bowl.
Wow, that's pierced. Ooh.
Yeah, this one's in
very nice.
How thin are you going with those, Brent?
Well, this one's about 3/32. The first one, the cottonwood bowl, this one is way too thick. This one I was learning. This is about an 1/8. It was quite a challenge on that, and so I was learning. So this one's much too thick. My third one,
very well done.
This one here,
Oh man, they're beautiful.
Yeah. This one is too thick. This is aspen. It's too thick, but it was starting to make noise like it was going to come apart, so I had to stop.
Looks good.
It's really nice.
Looks beautiful.
Yeah, those are really nice.
What are you piercing them with?
I got a little an NSK Presto tool and such. I picked up off eBay used, such. So, and my last is I tried just a little experiment or a little random. Started cutting a whole bunch of little keys and such. So, this what it would look like. And such, so.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Well,
cool.
Eddie, did you see the bumblebees in that one?
Did you see the bumblebees, Brenda?
Yeah.
A bunch of starlings.
What else?
Yeah. See the bees in that one?
I can even see the bumblebees. Yeah.
You're all crazy.
Oh, camera.
Well, there we go.
Oh, do know that new members think we're crazy, right?
All right, that's what I got this week. So that's it.
Thank you, Brent. Beautiful work. So beautiful work.
Very nice.
Remember, it's the only place where you can see this, and if you got a piece, you can show it. Brenda, who's up?
Next up is Dave in Lakewood, New York.
Dave, talk, sir.
Yeah, talk to us. Dave? Dave.
Going once.
Here.
Going twice. Dave in Lakewood. Okay, areas.
There I am. I was finally able to get back out in the shop again. I'm not real happy with it, but
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm learning how to do a decent finial.
Aren't we all?
Good.
We're all
Yeah.
trying to learn.
Yeah, and when you get it
We're
down
learning.
right, Dave, we're going to sign you up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right. But then for Christmas, my son bought me a handleless tool. So I decided to go out and make a handle.
There you go. That's a good looking finial.
That looks good.
Yeah, this is out of Locust.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
tough stuff.
Nice.
Looks
Very
like
tough
right,
stuff.
right out right from the store.
Yeah, it's a
That's
tough.
good
Well,
looking
Actually,
handle.
better.
I
Way better.
love the shape of the Sorby handle, so I try to sort of cheated and copied it.
And how did you burn your lines in?
What I have a hacksaw that I put the blade in backwards.
Okay.
Oh, nice. That's a good way
Not a
to
nifty trick.
I
sharpen
find it
a
a lot
corner.
safer than trying to use a wire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you
that's
still
a
got
good way
10
to do it
fingers.
on flat surfaces too.
Yeah.
Steve, what kind of wood is on that bowl you made?
The bowl,
Yeah, what kind of wood is it?
the bottom is maple,
That is pretty.
and
Oh, yeah.
the top is walnut, and the finial is maple again.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
I
Nice
like the
color
polish of it.
contrast. For the handle, the tool handle, is that honey locust or black locust?
Honey locust.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
What kind of finish did you put on that?
Well, this just has oil, and
Okay.
it's only got the first coat on the top. I did that today, but the base has been kicking around the shop for a while.
Did you use the skew? That thing is shiny.
No.
No.
Well, he answered that quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Sure.
the skew is a little beyond me at the moment.
Looks like skew.
Yeah, we're gonna get you there, Dave. We're gonna get you there.
I'm getting there.
The reason I asked which locust it was, if it's black locust and you put it under a black light, it glows like a fluorescent sign.
Oh, cool.
Really?
Because of the iridescence in the wood, it actually glows like a neon sign.
Isn't that a hippie trick? Only the hippies really follow along with that.
That's what I need to use for my tools I can never find then.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Glow in the dark paint.
All right. Who's up next, Brenda? Let's talk to him.
Next up, we got Greg Bray.
Hey, got me
Greg.
on?
There he is.
Hello?
Go ahead. I'm
Wait, we're
pulling you up.
looking at you, sir.
Okay, great.
This is
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
arm bow.
All right.
Nice.
What are the
Nice,
woods?
excellent.
It is cherry and maple.
Look at the bottom inside of that bowl. That's just exactly what I was talking about a little while ago with Dane's piece. You don't see any rings in there. You don't see any divots in there. Good, smooth cutting, slicing.
Perfect shine.
Yes.
And when I designed this, I wanted the curve to come down past the center and back up, so I could get the maple line across there. So.
Very good job.
And I put it on Facebook. Now I got 4 more to make.
There you go.
Isn't art a heck of a thing? All right. You know,
That's
hey,
all I
in a
got.
little while, I'm
Explain
going to
real
show you
quick
another.
how you made that curly cut in there where the yarn's going to come through. How did you do that?
I took some brad point bits first and just did a series of holes of 2 different sizes. And then I took, it's not a Dremel, it's a real high speed, like a Dremel. And
Okay.
I carved it out with that, and then just sandpaper and rounding the edges.
Okay. All right. It's people like you that keep getting me in trouble because you make those nice ones, and my wife keeps getting after me to make her one, and I don't know how to do that part of it.
I had never
Doug,
made
show
I
me.
had never made a yarn bow before until now.
Well,
Yeah.
I made one, and I'll show it when it's my turn, but I didn't do that part that you did.
Yeah.
Well, do it right now, Doug. Show us what you have. Talk, Doug.
Oh, I'm right here.
The thing that has been.
I didn't
the
want
most
to cut in line, though. I know there's other people that got stuff to show.
The thing that has been most effective for me to cut
All right.
those slots with has been,
So,
go
the
ahead, Doug.
ball, right? So I took the top, cut it, so that's still there, the inside of a bowling ball. So we set that aside for another project some other day, and left the thumb hole for the yarn.
That's cool.
Huh, that's cool.
And then I did originally make a funnel out of it, so I had to fix that with some resin.
Oh, very nice. Nice save. Nice color match. That's cool.
That's what my wife said. Yep, she likes it. It's pretty. She said, but I don't want the round hole. Can you make that other one that people make? She doesn't understand the rules of this club. No butts. She gives me some butts a lot.
Thank you, Doug.
The thing that I've done that's been the most successful for me in cutting those yarn slots is they make like router bits for the Dremel. They're little router bits.
Yep, I have one of those.
Yeah, I use just a straight, like I don't know, I suppose it's a 1/4 inch or maybe an 1/8, a 1/4 inch in diameter. And that's what I use to carve those with. I just lay it out, with a pencil, and then I just use the router bit and the Dremel router attachment. And that has
Are
been,
you all doing that while it's on the lathe between centers or whatever, it's on the chuck, or off?
No, off.
Okay.
I tried a whole bunch of things. I did them by hand. I did them with coping saws. I have a jigsaw. I tried doing that. Jigsaw left marks. I think there's now a way that you can, if you put like masking tape on the bottom of your jigsaw, you won't leave the marks. I got a buddy of mine who's got a full-on trim router jig he uses to carve those with, but he had to build that. So, but this worked the best for me. I mean, I've carved them, with normal carving bits and Dremel carving bits and different carving bits. I tried using the first couple ones I did, I used the high-speed, the micro carver. It's faster than the Dremel is with the little handpiece with the coiled thing on it. But the thing that's worked best for me is those Dremel router bits.
Okay.
I haven't tried it. But they make some little small scroll saw type things for gourds for cutting stuff like that.
Okay.
I use a fret saw or a jeweler's saw.
Yeah, but you have problems swinging it on that. But they make this little thing that they use for gourds, for cutting gourds out and stuff like that. And it's a little mini oscillating saw.
Okay.
Is it fixed, Trey?
No, it's handheld, just like a saber. It's like a little mini saber saw.
Can you find it? Put it in the chat.
Like a reciprocating saw.
Yeah, it's just, the little blade goes up and down. It's just a miniature version of it.
Put it in the chat.
Ryobi used to make one.
Yeah, right. Oh shoot, I can't remember who else makes them, but anyhow, the Micro Mart sells them.
Okay. I'll check it out. I appreciate it, Trey. Thanks.
Okay, or go to these companies that still sell stuff for gourds. They make them especially to be able to make those quick turns and all that stuff on it.
Okay.
Who's up next with gallery? We got Brenda taking care of gallery tonight. Brenda?
Up next, we've got Jim Selby.
Hello. You got to talk to us, sir.
I'm trying. Can
There
you
he
see
is.
me?
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
There he is.
I got a couple of pins I made. I've been giving away quite a few to the troops. I've probably made 20 of them lately and gave them away. I gave one to a first-class Navy guy on Depot this morning. And last week I showed this mold, but since then my wife put a candle in the bottom of it. So it turned out pretty neat.
Cool.
That is cool. I like that idea.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And she poured that candle right into the bowl, right?
Yeah, it's we stuck the wicks, they're the wooden wicks. We stuck them down to the bottom and then she poured the candle. She poured it, had to pour it in 3 layers because her candle melter thing doesn't hold enough wax to fill up that whole bowl.
And what kind of wood is that bowl made out of?
I found it beside the road. I don't know what kind it is.
It's pretty
It's
cool.
wood.
Could be mesquite or acacia. It looks like either one of those.
Well, I'm in Florida. I don't think there's many mesquites out here.
No, it looks
probably
like
not.
red maple. Red maple.
Yeah, it's probably maple. It looks like camphor, but it doesn't smell. So
Well, it's pretty.
thank you.
Yes, it is.
Nice job, Jim.
All right, up next, we got Joaquin. Where you
Hello,
at?
guys.
Joaquin.
Hey,
How about the rest of you guys? Any of y'all still turning Christmas trees? I'm still turning Christmas trees and just got an order for 3 more an hour ago. And but what I got to show is this little mesquite lily bow. And got a little sapwood on the side there. The beauty ring and the knob, it's ebony. About all I got left.
Very nice, Joaquin.
Very nice, yes. Beautiful.
Very nice, yeah.
I like the lines. Those
Changing that,
simple
Kate.
lines work great.
Pardon?
I said, Kate, you can shave in that thing. You see the shine on that? You can see is the screen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very nice.
I like shine. I like shine like Kate does too.
I do too. I haven't been able to get it done yet. All right, up next is Terry. Terry's iPad.
Yeah, I'm here. You hear me?
I got you,
Yeah.
Terry.
I'm gonna try to flip the camera around. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm still working on the lampshades, and I did good with the shades. I made 5 of them, and then I got to the real problem of making bases for them. This one is still on a donor base. It's a 4 base stand for it, and it came out pretty nice.
That's very
And
nice.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. As far as the floor stand goes, I kind of like it, except I think that they got this thing on upside down. I think it would look better the other way. But the ones I'm making, that's the one I showed before. And it's got the spiral base, and I really don't like that. It might wind up to be a hat stand. I don't like the base very much. And then I went on to this one. I like it a lot, but it's just dummied up. I don't have any hardware on it. I just stuck it on there to show it. And it came out pretty nice. And then this
They all
last
look
one, I
good,
like
but I
this
think I
quite a
like the
bit.
spiral one the best that you said you didn't like.
The spiral one. I'd like it okay, except I tried to make it taller and put those 2 balls on top, and I don't like it. I don't know what I'll do with this
Terry,
one.
is that North Island Pine? Is that
Yeah,
that?
it's all out. The stems aren't out of North Fork Island pine. None of the bases are, just some shades.
Just the shades, right?
All
Okay.
the shades are. Like you say, this one doesn't, that one came out pretty nice. That's the one with the spiral. And then this one, I like this one a lot with the shape on it. And I tried to make the base of it to match the shade. And then if you can see it, I tried to make the knob that holds it on to match the shade also. And I thought it come out pretty good, but I think I'm gonna like this one about the best. But it doesn't have any hardware in it. The Goodwill store that I buy my fixtures from to get the hardware for is closed for 2 weeks. So I gotta wait till they open back up. But that's what I've been working on. One thing I wanted to point out and ask some questions on is I don't know how much experience people have in drilling a hole through a 12-inch spindle, but my luck wasn't very good with it. I finally come up with a really good way to do it. But anybody with any other advices might be helpful. What I did was I took the log when it was long. Whoops, where'd we go?
Oh,
Am I gone? I'm gone. I don't know what happened.
We're back
You had
on.
enough of
Still
me?
hear you. There you go. Now you're
Oh,
back.
I'm back. I thought maybe you got tired of me. What I did was I took it's made out of a log, about 6-7 inches in diameter. And I took it and cut a large spindle, put it between centers, and cut a pretty good size, oversized spigot on one end, and turned it around and put the spigot in the jaws, which isn't a perfect fit, being oversized, but it's okay because I wasn't going to do any turning on it. I was just going to drill. So when I drilled it, I drilled all the way through. And of course, where it come out in the bottom was not in the center, which I've ran into many times. It kind of wanders off. And that's why I did it when it was still big. Then I put it back between centers. I turned it back around and put it back in cut a spigot on the other end and turned it around 180 degrees. Put a live center in the hole that was off-centered, and then turned the piece so that it was back with the hole in the center, if you can understand all that.
I think that's the best
If
way to do
somebody
it.
has a better method of doing that, huh?
Yeah, you drill the hole before you turn the stand. That way you use the hole as your center. Trying to drill a hole after you make the spindle it's almost impossible to keep it in the center.
That's
If
what
you
I
put
did.
it on
Yeah,
the,
that's just what I did.
I can jump in on this one. You're dead right. Anything that's going on the lathe should be pre-drilled before, but I can see what you're saying there, Terry. What you've done is you've turned the spigot on one end, you've put it into your chuck jaws, and then you've put your drill the full length of it. Then what you've done is you've taken it out of your chuck jaws and put the two holes between centers, and then turned it around.
Correct.
Which makes sure that what you've got is a dead straight hole down the center of your piece, because even though your drill has wobbled off, even if it wobbles off an inch, if you've got an inch to take away from the outside, you're going to end up with a 2-inch spindle at the end of it. If you make sure when you put that spigot into your chuck, make sure that you just turn a very, very small hole as a starting point for your drill. And you'll find you'll get less wobble on your drill if you make it a pilot hole to start with, because the drill will want to wander. And if it's got a pilot hole to go with it, you'll be able to follow that a lot straighter. Another way of doing it, if you're doing longer spindles, is to cut it in half, take out the center pith, and then glue the two halves back together again, clamp it up. You'll never see where the joint is. And what you've done is you've removed the pith in the center. You can do that on either a table saw and just put an angle on it. Very much the same way as I do my outside lamps. So what I do is I take an angle and I take a triangle out of the center, which gives the wire sufficient room. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, yeah, that sounds like all good plans, but that's basically what I did with these, was turned them around and then turned it after I put it centered the hole.
Hey, Terry.
It worked out.
Hey, Terry.
The little
Yeah.
pilot hole.
Hello, Terry.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm from Michigan. David I bought this from years and years ago. Robert Sporby or whatever his name is. And it's a tool that you take and put in your tailstock. Put it through your tailstock and you just run it right straight through your headstock. And what it does is allow you to put the wire down through there for your lamp.
Yeah, it's a long borer.
Yes, it's a long bar, but it goes through your tailstock with
Yeah.
your live center point out, and you just slide this in there and like that there. What you do, I've never used it. I'm sorry, but I started making them, but then I moved and I had never got back to it.
And the thing is, it looks like a little drill itself, but you just run it down through there real slowly. Keep pulling it out to empty the shavings, and you'll go right through there. You know, it will be straight because you're following the tailstock line of shot to the headstock.
Nifty idea.
The way I,
From the headstock.
the way I do it is I take it, I turn it between centers, and I'll have 2 center points. Then I take a drill bit, put it in the tailstock, drill in about 6 inches, flip it over 180 degrees, drill it in about 6 inches on the other side. Then I take the long bit and put it through, and it always comes out because the hole that I drill is keeping the drill straight in the center.
Yeah.
And it'll meet up with the other side.
Using a shorter bit, it won't wander very much.
Right, use the short bit on both ends.
Yeah.
And then I put the long bit through the middle and drill it all the way through with a
Yeah.
hand drill.
That's what I was saying, John, about the pilot hole. If you've got a pilot hole to start with, it'll stop the wobble right from the start.
Exactly.
David, I've got one of them and I've used it several times, and I will say that you will still get about ½ an inch at the other end miss on it. They are great tools. Another version of that is I've seen people adapt their own. They've taken a bar and they've had a welder weld a drill bit onto the end of it so that you can push the bar through. Brenda, no, definitely through the tailstock, not through the headstock. Never push anything through your headstock while your lathe's moving.
But you will find out that the wood grain will make your drill wander. So that is why you're having a problem. If you do it real slowly and very, you know, the amount of time that you're doing it, take a long time to do it because it will go straighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to try to follow the harder part of the wood grain.
Yeah.
Especially if it's an open grain wood.
Can I say something?
Yes, sir, you most certainly can.
This is Mark Sillay. I make a lot of chandeliers and lamps on a contract basis. And what I've made a centering pin, and I use my lathe to drill the long hole. I'm going to go out to my shop here just a second and turn on a light. And I'll show you a little jig I made that will help you out. Let me turn on a light here. Okay. Okay, can people see this?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, what I've done is I've just taken a Jacob's chuck and I've put a 3/8 rod in it and rounded it off. Right, so that goes in my tailstock. Hang on, I gotta move. Hang on just a second, I just gotta move this box. There we go. I'm gonna flip the camera around here if I can. There we go. Okay, let me take this out.
Look at that, another demo tonight.
No, I do a ton of lamp. I do these chandeliers like 55 inches long and stuff like that, you know, and I do them in sections. So what I've done is I've made this is a support pin. All right. So watch what I'm going to do here. Taking this, I got all this stuff up on the lathe there. Okay, here we go. Right, so what I do is I take my small I don't use a Jacobs chuck on the headstock. What I do is I put the drills in my, I gotta set the thing down here just a minute. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. So I put my small jaws on, my number 1 jaw. And then I'll put a drill. Let me go get a drill. I've got long drills.
You use auger bits or a gun drill? I used a gun drill.
Using a regular drill. You see that? Just a long drill, and I'll lock it. I'll lock that. I'm trying to work with, let me see if I can get. Okay, can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay, well,
Yep.
I'll just put these drills. Let me crank this down here just a second.
Forgive me, Jesus. Forgive me, Jesus.
Okay. Okay, so I've got the drill in there like that. And so what I'll do is I'll take a piece of stock.
You rotate your camera down, Mark?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Oh, we're running.
Okay, here you go.
That's good.
Okay, can you see that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Much better.
Okay, so what I'm doing is I've drilled, I drill a little pilot hole in each end, right? And now I slide, let me just do this. I slide my pilot hole onto my pin like this. And then I'm gonna put my phone back up here. Maybe we can, okay, I'm trying to get it.
Perfect.
Okay, and then what I do is I go into the front pilot hole, right? And all I do is I slide my tailstock back and forth, right? Until I drill through. And that way it's perfectly centered.
You're absolutely right, sir. And I'm going to expound on what he said. When you do that by moving it back and forth, you feel the pressure of the cut. If you do it by turning in your tailstock or pulling down on a drill press, you don't have an idea of the torque you're placing on the drill bit. And doing it like that, it's right there in your hand. And
Right.
because these can roll, you won't get a hook on the drill. You can't get a hook on the drill.
Now I would speed this up a little bit. And again, you can do this so that that's got just a little wobble in it, but you can get it so that it's absolutely, and all you're doing is you're just going in there and pulling back, in there and pulling back, in there and pulling back. And you can go through pieces and they'll always come out centered.
Well, that's a great tip.
So you're using the tail
It's always good.
as a slide. Okay, that's the way I do it.
Fantastic.
Good tip.
Hey, Mark, my video cut out because of my really crummy bandwidth over here. So your drill bit is in the headstock in your chuck, and then you have the pin in the tailstock, correct?
The pin in the tailstock, that's correct.
Okay, hey, thank you.
Yeah, you can see it there, right? And then, right, I've got longer drills. right? So a lot of times what I'll do, if I have a real long piece of drill, I'll do this operation here. And like somebody else suggested earlier, after I've got it as deep as I can go from either side, then I'll take a longer drill, right? I'll take a longer auger, right? A big long auger, right? Then I can just take that on a hand drill, but it's absolutely guided. If you go in about 12 inches, right? Those two holes on either end, it's going to be perfect. I mean, but sliding it back and forth on that lathe, it's always dead center.
And you have control of the torque. You.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
that machine.
Right.
Hey, Mark.
That's the critical part.
Yeah.
Mark, I got a question.
Yeah.
The size of the drill bit and the size of the pin in your tailstock must have to be the same size.
Yeah, this is 3/8. I drill my pilot holes 3/8 for the lamps, and then I actually I do the finish drill with a 7/16. That way, when you're running a lamp rod through with all the threads on it, right, you've got just a little wiggle room. If you make it exactly 3/8, you'd have to hammer it through sometimes.
Okay, good. Thank you.
If you think this only works with a 3/8 bit, in a couple of weeks when I'm up and running, I'm going to show you with a 1/8 inch bit. And it works. And I'll show you why I do it that way. I cheat, of course. Thank you, Mark, for popping in and doing that for us tonight.
Well,
thanks a lot, Mark.
Maybe it'll help somebody.
It'll help all of us.
And usually what I do before I've turned the piece, I drill it when it's square, right? I drill it when it's square. And then when I actually turn these lamp pieces and all that, then what I do is I put it between centers and I use a wooden drive disc, right? Just a point made out of wood, ash, because it'll drive it. And then I use a cone on the tailstock side, and it always remains totally centered.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did. I appreciate it.
All right. You guys have a good new year.
Thank you, Mark. Good to you, sir.
Hey, let's go back to Martin.
All right, we got to roll up real quick. Let's do a short one, Martin. What you got?
Very, very quick. If I've got a screen share, just going back to Dean, it was mentioned about doing a champagne flute involuted.
Yeah.
I've just got one to show you there that I did.
Nice.
Wow. Just in case you do want to challenge Dean.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
That's beautiful, Martin.
That's great.
Wow. Hey, Dean, there's your target.
There's your target, Dean.
I'll tell you what, he continues to raise the bar, doesn't he?
Yeah, did an inside out and then
Now get this. He had to put the inside before the glass in before he turned the outside.
Right.
Yep.
Yep, that's how those are done.
One wrong
I
move.
do not recommend people putting glass on their lathe. I started, and when I designed that and I worked with that, I started with plastic bottles, and I used to put plastic bottles on just in case. And once I'd done 4 or 5 plastic bottles, I then decided that I would go for the larger one, and I went for the crystal decanter. And I've done 5 or 6 of them since that. I'm fairly confident with them. There's a bit of an illusion there because it looks like the glass sticks out of the glass, and it doesn't. It is totally encased within the glass.
That looks good, Martin.
Takes a bit of turning.
Tip.
Nice.
Raise the bar, will you? Huh? Look at Martin. That's Martin from the UK. Always got a little something. And he's with a great wood turning club that's in the United Kingdom. And there, it's very similar to what we're doing. and is sharing information on wood turning. We're in overtime right now, and we cut this off because in the past we have let it run, and rumor has it it's ran until about midnight central, and we don't want anybody to miss anything out. So we're going to be back here next Wednesday evening. Dane, who's up on next week for our demonstration?
Next week, June 5th is, God, I want to say Doug Miller. Let me pull up my calendar.
So no more meetings till next year, huh?
No,
Yeah,
June
no more.
5th is Scott Hampton on bowl design.
I hope
Bold
it's
design.
January
I
5th.
hope it's January, not June.
January.
Sorry,
January.
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 Oh, we're on a
January.
roll. We're on
Next
a roll
Wednesday.
tonight, aren't we, folks? We're on a roll tonight. All right, it's that time.
I'm just checking to see who's paying attention because, you know, it's fun to do.
All right. It's that time, folks. Good night, John Boy. Y'all take it.
Save the chat. Good night.
Y'all next year.
Next year.
Good night, all. Good night.
Happy New Year.
Take care.
Happy New Year, everybody. Happy turning.
Happy New Year.
I want to save the chat, but I needed a live contact to get to that gooseneck. I got it. I have it up on the other screen right now.
Oh, wow. Beautiful. That is wonderful.